Okay, welcome and thank you for joining our Content Management Systems webinar, where our technical consultant, Dakota Walker, will show you how you can create a more user-friendly cover for your service catalog. Feel free to submit questions during this presentation, and Dakota will address them at the end of the hour. Before we start, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Fruition Partners. My name is Christina Sinopoli. I'm the marketing coordinator here. And we are an IT service management, education, and consulting company with clients across the U.S. and a few international clients as well. We've been around since about 2003, and as ITIL and ITSM practices have grown, so have we, expanding into many different sectors, including law, healthcare, education, and manufacturing. Basically, anyone that needs help with ServiceNow.com, ITIL, or ITSM process work. All of our employees have an ITIL V3 Foundation certification or higher, and our technical consultants are all experts in their field. We are focused on complete IT service management integration, from education, where we can help you establish a broader ITSM initiative, to administration, where we can build out ServiceNow applications, supplement your existing staff, upgrade you to the latest release, and even take complete management of your instance if you'd like. We also have the ability to build custom apps and tools on top of your platform as well. Basically, we like to think of ourselves as an ITSM one-stop shop, combining education, consultation, and ServiceNow.com professional services. Now I'm going to hand this over to our technical consultant, Dakota Walker, who will walk you through the CMS process. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Christina. All right, so today we'll be talking about content management, or as I'll be calling it, CMS. So if I ever mention CMS during this webinar, you know what I'm talking about. So here's a brief overview of what we'll be doing today, as well as a brief overview of the content management application. The CMS allows you to create custom interfaces for the ServiceNow.com platform, and this makes it a lot more user-friendly for your end users when they're in the ServiceNow system. The content management application, it provides complete control over the look and feel of the whole instance while maintaining functionality and data access. The purpose of this presentation will be to provide a brief overview of the CMS application, as well as a demo of how to create your site within the application. So first we'll go over when to use CMS. So depending on your ITIL processes and what you're leveraging, it's important to note that when using CMS, you should have well-established information before you build out your front end. So for example, if you're using Service Catalog or knowledge base information, you want to have that built out before you try to put a CMS cover over that. Another reason why you would use CMS would be just for a simple user-friendly view of ServiceNow.com. If you go and look at the normal portal, it looks kind of intimidating, and you don't want your self-service users to see something like that. So that's basically why you would want to use CMS over your Service Catalog or knowledge base. Some new features that they've recently installed with the new CMS is the option to have a login on the header bar. So this allows so you don't have to have a separate login page. You can just have a login on the directly on the home page, as well as the text sizing controls. So right there on your header, you can have your login, your text sizing controls, and you don't have to have an entire separate page for that. Within the fall 2010 release, Stable 3, the site can now support meta tags and gauges. And the gauges will just be different types of reports that you may want to use on your page. Winter 2011, the most recent release, it allows for super menus on the headers, which allows you to have many different links to other content pages within your site or external pages. The winter release also allows you to have email notifications linked directly to your content pages. All right, so let's jump into actually looking into the content management application. First, I want to jump over to the actual site here. So when you're in your ServiceNow instance, to get to your application, in the type filter text, you want to type in content management, and it'll bring up the application. So here are all your different modules you'll use to build your content management home pages. So the first module we have, the All Pages, and this is all the pages are core to the CMS system setup. You build out your pages first, and then you connect those to your site, which allows you to have that entire site built out. The pages are built from content blocks, which we'll get into more later, and that organizes into your site. So the pages display as regular web pages rendered in HTML, and you can construct these content pages in HTML, and if you're building these out, it does require a basic knowledge of HTML. So if we jump back into our instance here, we'll go into the Pages app module, and you can see that out-of-box ServiceNow already has a ServiceNow self-service site, content site. These are all the pages that it contains. So this is just a simple view of what this module looks like, a list of all the pages. And later we'll get into a demo of how to create your own page, how to create your own site, and link those together. So now we'll move on to the All Sites module. So the sites within content management, it allows you to organize groups of pages. So you can have multiple sites with different pages. The site will have a consistent look for all pages. So if you can define one style, one layout for that site, and it'll filter down to all pages. Within ServiceNow, each page is going to have a URL suffix. So if you want to get to your content site, you can just type in your site. So let's say it's demo.servicenow.com. You can put a / and then the suffix that you define, and it'll take you directly to your content page. So we can jump back here into our instance and go to the Sites module. And you can see that ServiceNow has a site out of box, and we can click into that. We'll be demoing this site, so it's just the basic out-of-box self-service site that ServiceNow has created for you to view as an example. And we will definitely take a look at that later. So we build sites and pages. To build those pages, we use content blocks. And these block types allow you to create headers, navigation menus, have different forms as far as if you want to bring a requested item form to fill out, just a simple request to fill out. You can bring all those in with content blocks. The blocks are small, manageable snippets of code and allows you to add different sections to each page. So let's jump back and take a look at a few of the different content blocks on here. Sorry about that. So we'll go out. Let's actually go to this site, the servicenow.com. And to view this, this looks kind of intimidating at first, but to just view the site, what it actually looks like, you can click View Homepage. And so this is what the self-service HTML servicenow.com self-service view looks like. So our content blocks are actually these sections on the page. So here's our header. Here's our other content blocks. So on these modules, you can see that we have all their different blocks here. If we go to all, we can see a list of all the content blocks you can use on the page. We have our headers here, and navigation menus, dynamic content, lists, and static HTML. And we'll get into more detail on how to create these later. All right. So if we move on to the next slide, a type of the content block would be the list view. These lists will generate dynamic content. You can query based on a table with scripts to pull any kind of information from a table that you like. This will help manage the navigation of the site, as well as just easy access for users to get to any kind of list you want to show them. So right here we have an example of catalog items. So we just went in, did a query of the catalog item table, and it brought these in. Once these are brought into the list, this allows as type of a link, so they can click on these and it'll bring them to that link within the content page. So let's jump back out to our instance, out to the actual CMS page. And you can see this navigation very easy. So here's an example of some lists. And you can see that it pops up like a link, and it allows you to just click on that and view the content. So that's an example of a list view content. The next type of content would just be static HTML, and this gives you a feel for kind of what you see is what you get. Whatever HTML you put in there, you're just going to see that static. You can have different links to different pages. You can build out different tables, or just build out different articles you want users to see. This type of content would be the dynamic content, the dynamic HTML. This is where most of your content blocks will be created. Because here you can create more active content. You can bring in different lists, filter those lists, and just a better way of creating different list views, form views, and etc. to use on your your content management pages. This does require basic HTML knowledge and basic Java or JavaScript knowledge to create some of these dynamic content blocks. The next type of content would be the specialty content, and this includes your Flash, movies, content links, and iframes. This allows you to add different types of Flash movies. So Flash would be, let's jump into here, provides the ability to embed it or even render the content from an external site. These work in the same manner as content blocks, but deal specifically with the types of content that we showed, so either Flash movies, content links, or iframes. The links that we use, the links are not actual content blocks. They're organized or arranged in list blocks. So for example, if you're to create a category within your service catalog, then you could generate that list using an iframe or a content link. So here's a more in-depth look of the content link. So this generates a list from the table so content links in the list section of the application. Most of the site navigation within CMS can be created within this list view because it allows designation of any type of form from knowledge base or your service catalog or any other list within the system. And this can help with your navigation. It can help allow you to create navigation menus customized depending on whatever type of links you want within your service catalog page. Iframes. Iframes allow you to bring in just set web pages, so you could bring in just a link. So this one is showing if you bring in google.com, it's just going to bring in a page of a block of Google on your content page. So it'll be like a window frame looking into this website. Also, iframes allow you to bring in requested items as well. So if you have clients that you want to order, let's let's say a laptop, BlackBerry, anything that you'll have in your service catalog, iframes also allow you to bring those directly into your content pages. For design of your web pages, we'll jump into that now. You can use different themes, style sheets, layouts, frames, and images. So your theme is going to be defined on the actual page. After we go through these slides, I can jump into the instance and show you exactly what I'm talking about when I'm referring to themes. You can use multiple themes within a site, as well as you can create different sites, use multiple themes within that. Normally, we have one site, you'll have one theme that will contain those style sheets. So the style sheets, we'll get into those. They look exactly like normal CSS style sheets. You can use local style sheets that are created within ServiceNow, or you can also use external style sheets, which will be defined by your company, probably contained on their servers, and you can go directly into that. And this allows you to have exactly the CSS that is designed by the corporate website or any other online resource. The different layouts of the page is kind of the structure of the basic page, and this allows you to structure your site down to the pixel. When you're on your actual page, this allows you to arrange your content blocks on that page however you would like. If we get into the frames, this can be defined in your style sheet as well. It's just a decorative outline for each content block. And for example, in your container, you can it can be made of div or span tags styled with either rounded or squared edges. In this page, you can see that this one's created with rounded edges. And you can have different color styles, different color text, and so on with these frames. So you're maybe wondering where you store all these images that you're going to be using in your site. Well, ServiceNow has a special table full of images. You can import your own. There's a lot out of box that you can use. Here you'll just upload your image, and then you'll be able to call those from anywhere in your content site. So now let's jump back into the system. I'll show you all these modules that I've actually went over. We'll get into creating new sites, new styles, and new themes for those sites. So first, to create a new site, you can just click on New, and it'll bring you to all this. So you'll define the name, you'll define the suffix, you'll have your home pages, your search page, and that'll be after you create all your pages when you can define these. So let's go back into the one that's previously created. You can see that it's called ServiceNow.com. The URL suffix is ESS. And if we jump back into this ESS view, you can see that in the URL it has ESS. So you can just type that directly and go to that. Shows the home page as the portal page, which we're viewing right now. And we'll jump back over here. And you'll have a search page defined, a login page, and as well as your default layouts and your default themes. So this also allows you, once you create your site, if you have a home page defined, this allows you to just click this link and you'll be able to view basically what your home page looks like. So in creating a new page, you could do it this way. You could either create new here, and that allows you to create a new page unique to this site. Or if you want to create just another page unique to itself, you can go to the Pages module, click New, and this will bring you to another look similar to the site's page to create a page. So let's go back into our site, and we can go down, view a page. We'll just go and view the home page, since we know what that looks like. And you may be wondering how we're going to actually add the content to the page. So from here, once you have your page defined and created, you can go to Edit Page, and this will bring you to the type of view where you can see what actual user is going to see, as well as some simple editing tools. So to add different content to your page, which will be the content blocks that you create within your content blocks module here, you can just simply click on Create Add Content. And this allows you to scroll through. There's a lot of stuff out of box created, things like your active incidents and different menus, different things that you'll want to bring out on your pages. So it's good to just come through and look in this demo and see what you might want to add for your company and pull together different requirements that you may need in your page. So what we'll do here, we'll just go to a simple header view. So new header. From here you can create new content. We'll just add this to the page, and to add this to the page we'll click Add Here. And this is a simple layout of our page. So I'll click Add Here. You can see that it adds that in the background of this page, and we'll just exit out of that. So right here is the new header that we're going to create. We'll go to Click New, and we'll just call this New Test Header. And with these headers, when creating a header, it's very easy now. You can go to a gradient image. You can upload an image directly to your background. You can go to colored bars, which is the one we viewed earlier. You can put something as simple as typing in a color, or you can specifically get into the hexadecimal code of that color to make sure it matches with your company theme. You can also add logos. So if we just click to add, it'll bring you to let you browse your desktop. You can pull in your specific company logo as it does in the normal ServiceNow instance view. Right here in the top menu, as well as the bottom menu, this allows you to bring in predefined menus. So if you want to have let's say a menu of your different options here, you can bring that into your header. You can define a certain height, and you can also define certain text within that header. So you'll just submit that, and it'll take you, let's go back into our page view here. So we added that to the portal page. We'll scroll back down to it. Go to Edit Page. And then we can see that simple header that we just created. It looks a little crazy now. You have to mess with your settings. But this is what the menu looks like. There's different menus as far as drop down, other menus. So clearly we wouldn't want this on our page. It looks a little crazy. So just to remove content from a page, all you have to do is simply hit this checkbox. So now you can see we're back to our normal header. And to move this content around, all you have to do is simply click and drag. So I can move the content blocks anywhere around the page that I would want. And then that follows our layouts. So basically we have that simple 3-section layout. If we jump into this header, if we want to just edit this previously defined header, we can click on this pencil view. That allows us to see what's been created. So they've uploaded an image that has these 2 sections, also uploaded a logo, this basic ServiceNow logo, and entered this text. They've also added a header menu, added the search, font sizer, and login that we talked about earlier. And the font sizer, search, and login, they're as simple as a checkbox. If you don't want them on there, you can uncheck that. If you do, you just want that checked. So we'll go in, update that, and we can take a look. So here would be the login checkbox, all this information. Here's the text sizer and the search bar. Here's their predefined images that they have for the layout, and here's also the basic ServiceNow logo that they had along with the text. And here is the bottom menu that they added. Out of box, this menu has links already predefined. And we can go back into here, and you can see that this just creates a simple drop-down menu with these predefined things. To create a menu, you could go to the navigation menu section. We'll go into one that's been previously created and check out the header menu. So you'll want to define the name, the type of menu it is, so you can have drop-down, vertical list, vertical blocks, all kinds of different things that you'll want to use within your page. If we go over to this is the one that I'm talking about. We have the basic drop-down for your header. So we'll jump back over here, and you can see that you can see the categories, the sections we have here. You can just add new sections as you want and link them to different content pages that you want. And we'll click into the Order Things section. If we jump into here, then you can see that this is what's actually in the drop-down. So we'll go back over here. Here's the Order Things. You can see these are the sections in the drop-down. We'll jump back over to this view. You can see these sections over here again, and we'll click into those. And these are just the menu items. It shows you what section they're in. It redirects to a content page, and then you can specify what page it logs in. So it's best that you go in, create all your pages, and then you can go back, start creating your menus, and link all those menus to the different content pages that you want them to view. So we'll go back over here, go to the Order Things drop-down, and click on this link and show you that it just brings you up to this content page of all the different items within your service catalog that you can order. From here, then you can go ahead and click those. This is another type of menu you can have to view different items, and that would also be created within the navigation menu section. So let's go back into our site, back into our homepage portal that we were editing. Click on the Edit view. And let's say we want to remove this menu. All you have to do is simply click to exit, and then we decide maybe we want to bring that back on. So it's as simple as going to this adding content, finding this menu that you wanted. So it's going to be the portal block menu, and then just adding that back to the page. So it's real easy to add content, remove content, anything that you've created. And then also, if you want to preview this page, once you've added your content, you can go to Preview. That'll pop up another tab in your browser and show you what the user's actually going to see. So we just added this content block, and you can see that the menu's already been built out, predefined, and you can see that in your page now. So after you have all your pages created for your site, then I would get into creating your content blocks, which we can jump into looking at all those, which will be defined here. And you would be able to go back into your page and add all your content into your pages. So we'll jump back to our portal view. And you go to your edit page view, and you would be able to add all your content. Once you have all your content created and have it added to your pages, then you can go back to your site, link all those pages to your site, and then you can have your home page defined, your login page defined, and your basic layouts and themes. Once you have all those defined, you can get into the layouts and themes of your page, and here you can define those within the theme, style sheets, layouts, and all these modules in this design section. So let's click into a theme. We'll look at the theme that ServiceNow has for the site we've been viewing back and forth. And see, the theme is just your group of style sheets that you use within your web page. So we have your base styles, your header styles, menu styles, and any other style sheets that you want to create. To create those style sheets, you can either create them here from New Style Sheets, or you can click into the Style Sheets module, see all the style sheets created within the system, and you can create a new one from here. So this is the basic view. You can put all your style, your CSS code in here. You select the type. If you want to add your style here, you want to have your local style sheet selected, or you can do link to external style sheet, and this right here will provide you a URL to insert. So if we go back to our style sheets, we can see just the base styles that ServiceNow is using for this web page, and it just looks like the normal CSS code. So it also takes a basic knowledge of CSS, HTML to build these web pages out. Then if we go to the layouts, this is how the page is actually going to be laid out. So your content blocks, how they're actually going to be added to the page, what locations. So you can create different columns, different rows, and we can jump back. Let's jump back into our page to view what the layouts actually look like. So we'll go back to our portal page, the edit section, and if we want to add content, you can see here that this is the layout down here where you add the content. You can see what the layout looks like. You basically add the content to whatever section of the layout you want to, and then you would move those around. So this is now in the middle section. You can move it back up to the top section. Change your layout from this edit view if you would like. So if you want like a 3 columns, 2 wide view, this will show you kind of what that looks like here. You can go a 2 columns view, just a single cell on the screen. Basically anything else you want to create. Most of the time I use the basic 3 equal columns with your header section, your footer section. This allows you to just move those very easily around the page. So we'll just go ahead and change the layout to this, and you can see that it moves stuff around. You can just add these different sections. So you can see how easy it is to change your layout, how easy it is to move content around. You can see that this layout, well, it's not really going to work with the type of page that we have. So you want to go find a layout that looks better with your page. So let's go back to the out-of-box layout. Just click through here, and so right here is where we want to go to. So we'll go back to change the layout, and it'll throw stuff back in the way it was. So if we go back into the layouts to actually create one, we open this up, and it'll take basic Jelly script knowledge as well. So you want to create your different columns in here, your different rows, and that can be defined in here with your basic Jelly script knowledge. So if we go back to this page, you can see that the basic layout, you have your header, you have your middle section, and your footer. And this is used throughout the web page here within the ServiceNow site. Basically, the layouts are how everything is shown on the page. If we go down into this design section as well, we can look at the frames. You can define your frames here. You can have the rounded corners, just the simple square corners. And this will also take basic HTML Jelly script knowledge to create these. And within the images section, this is where you're going to store all your images that you're going to use within your site. You can see here that it has the name that you'll be calling it from, and then it shows you an example of the image that it's using. So any type of image you want to use throughout your page, just display-wise, the actual CSS style of the page wise. You'll store all those images here. So you can call them from your style sheets. You can use them in your themes and the actual theme of the page. All right, so we'll go back into our page here. And so this is the basic site once again, and you can see how this is structured. So once we went through all these modules, you can see that it's structured as far as you have your site, and then down here you have all your pages linked to that site, and then you can define them as your home page, your search page, your login page, and so on. Also, here's where you'll define the basic layout for the entire site. You can also have individual layouts for the certain pages, so you're not just locked down to one layout, one theme for the entire site. You can kind of define that for each page separately as well. So once this is built out, you'll want to build out your pages once again. And here you can also define your layout, your theme, see what site that it's connected to. And from here is where you're going to do your editing of your pages. One second for this to load. So from here you'll edit your pages. This is where you're going to add your content, determine what layout you actually want to see. So you can actually see the layout, check your styles, see if it actually looks right, and you can also create your content from here. Also from these modules, this is where you want to create some content as well. If you create your content within here, you'll then be able to view it within this Add Content tab here. So that's just the basic overview of the CMS. I'm going to now go over to and check on some questions that we've had and try to answer some questions that we had. Feel free to continue to answer some questions. Let's scroll down here. Okay, scroll down and see if we have some questions. So one question is, where do you set up the page that a user or a group of users will see? So from there, you want to do a configuration page or login rules. So the configuration page will show you your different login page, your search page, different things like that. Once you have that set up, you can determine certain login rules. So users with ESS roles, if you want them to just go directly to that content page and not have to go into this portal first, you'll set up a login rule. So we can click into this that says, if this user has role ESS, then don't allow them to see this portal view. Directly link them back to this self-service view. So from there, they'll be able to log in using this login section at the top, and then they'll be restricted only to this self-service view. So in this login rule, that's where they're going to want to do this. And hopefully these answer the questions. At the end, I can provide my email address, and if you guys want to send any questions, please let me know, and I can also answer those. Let's go through some other questions here. So the next question will be, will this allow unique URLs for incidents and different articles? Yes, you can define unique URLs. You'd have to create a separate page. So you can go to a page and have it display those articles as just one content page, or you could create a page just specific to a certain list of incidents, a certain article in a content page, and then you can specifically call that from other areas. Let's see here. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to ask. I don't see any other ones that are outstanding right now. There is in the GoToWebinar, there's a question section that you can add some questions if you would like. If we don't have any more in the next few minutes, I can provide my email address, like I said. I can put that in the comments section, the chat section of the GoToMeeting. So I'll send that out to all the users right now. And then we can get into more detail. Since this was a brief overview of the content management, we didn't get into much detail of how to create your own content and so on, but we can always set up some separate demos later on. So to all audience members, I just sent out my email address. Feel free to email with any other questions that we have. If not, please follow Fruition on Twitter, or check us out on Facebook or LinkedIn. You can stay up with any current information we're sending out, any current webinars that we may have coming up. And you also feel free to visit our website, fruitionpartners.com, to check out any latest news we have about ServiceNow or Fruition Partners. I don't see any other questions right now, so thanks everybody for joining. Hopefully this was helpful. And like I said, send me an email if you have any other questions. And thank you for joining. Everybody have a good weekend. Bye.